the President's National Security Advisor, Dr. Brzezinski. Brzezinski's strategy is divide and rule, to widen the gap between China and Russia, even if that means backing the Khmer Rouge. Last year, the United States supported a Chinese motion at the UN in favor of Pol Pot representing Cambodia. The Thai border, where the men of KEG operate, is merely the new front line in an old war. The State Department in Washington finally confirmed to us that these men were not aid people, but were a special monitoring force. A senior relief official told us that KEG applied constant pressure to the relief agencies to keep supplying Khmer Rouge bases.
It does seem ironic that the West, and the United States in particular, seems to be supporting the Khmer Rouge.
The comparative weight in terms of feeding effort has been markedly towards the non-Khmer Rouge. The feeling has always been you can't go along the border and say, okay, politically you're excluded, politically you aren't, or you get into all sorts of international political problems, plus considerations of equity of the civilians involved.
The United States government and some of the more conservative, shall we say, American journalists were the first ones to denounce the Pol Pot regime. And I for one, am very disturbed by the silence that they seem to have drawn over the excesses of the Pol Pot regime more recently.
There are several factors that politically are at stake, and there are, of course, a variety of other political factors that impinge on the humanitarian job.
If I go to the American embassy in Bangkok and if I talk to officials there, they couch their arguments in terms of humanitarian concern for the Khmer people. When I talk to aid officials, people who are involved in the border operations or here, I'm beginning to hear more and more often complaints of extremely crude pressure coming from the U.S.
This is Sa Kaeo camp inside Thailand, where the United Nations flag flies, but which in reality is controlled by the Khmer Rouge. They dispense the Western aid that is given to them, and they spread fear by burying people up to their necks. Their leadership of special quarters and their troops have been rested and fattened. At night, their wounded are ferried here by Task Force 80 and treated by foreign medical teams. Since the border relief operation began, it is estimated that Khmer Rouge strength has doubled to 30,000. Last June, in a blaze of public relations, more than 8,000 refugees were repatriated to their homeland. In fact, these so-called refugees all came from this camp. An official of the United Nations, which opposed the repatriation, told us, "We're sending back an entire division of the bastards. This is like a declaration of war." The Bangkok Post reported, "The followers of Pol Pot, who exercises a strong hold over many of the camp's refugees, and who have told interviews that they took part in mass executions, have a ditty they sing to people in order to intimidate them to return and fight."